eye-opener. Raised by Wolves or Madeleine Albright. Establishment Democratic leaders and so many reporting the news these days seem to be yelling about the things that Trump and Musk are doing these days, even when the things they're complaining about are things they ignored when Obama and Biden did them. CNN pundits argue that Big Balls not only apologize about racist things they said when they were 16 years old, but not the crime bill that Biden not only won't apologize for, but has doubled down when professing that he wrote the damn thing. And given that his son Hunter has videotaped himself smoking crack, it seems odd that neither CNN nor MSNBC nor any mainstream media outlet points out the hypocrisy that Biden sought to not only incarcerate drug dealers, but drug addicts as well. And now everyone except the majority of Americans is up in arms about the deportation of illegal immigrants. Even though the Trump administration claims to want to prioritize the deportation of violent illegal immigrants who have been convicted. Instead, they protest before the first deportation has even occurred while ignoring the record-setting number of deportations that occurred under the Obama administration. They protested the number of Trump's deportation in his first term as president, even though Biden deported more in his only term as president. Then there's the fight over USAID, which is looking more nefarious as more illicit behavior from the intentionally misnomered agency is exposed. Anyone who's read the book, Solution Enough Complaining Less Fixed, America would know to automatically be skeptical of any governmental agency with a name as innocuous as USAID. Anyone who's read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins would be cynical of the protestations of the mainstream media as they pertain to Musk's desire to audit this organization as well as the Pentagon. This sentiment holds true for readers of the book War is a Racket by Smedley Butler and so many other books that expose the truth about those who run the U.S. government, whether it's controlled by Democratic or Republican leaders. How long do the billionaires who own all of the mainstream news outlets expect the masses to believe their narrative when those news sources almost exclusively side in favor of those whom they are supposed to analyze, critique, and expose? How much longer are those who get duped into ignoring our leaders' past sins supposed to remain ignorant to the downward spiral in which America and Americans continue to be trapped? I imagine that someday, and I hope that day will be soon, people of the world will wake up to the fact that shutting farmers down in countries all over the world in the name of climate change makes little to no sense. How could eliminating the food supply be a feasible solution to climate change? This basically gives us the option to die from mistreating our environment or from starvation. What? How do Americans even listen to elected officials who have been in office for decades as the standard of living has diminished so much under their leadership? There are so many problems that can all be traced back to these incompetent, or more accurately corrupt leaders, that it's hard to determine just where to start. My suggestion: start by voting for anyone but the incumbent. To find out other ways you're being screwed by your current leaders, check out the posts on this blog daily. Learn about the biggest and worst issues that America and its people face today. You can also check into this blog daily to hear about those issues that America and its people will face in the near and distant future. If, however, you would like to discover possible solutions to either mitigate the worst impacts of these issues or solutions to avoid them altogether, keep listening. The problems we face are not as complicated as so many leaders and news reports claim. They are man-made and are only claimed as complicated, so those who are responsible can maintain control. For example, there is a persistent argument that moving government is like turning a cruise ship around. It is supposedly a long process that can only be achieved incrementally. While this may be true for laws and policies that benefit the majority of Americans, it does not seem to be so for that smallest of American minorities. When one examines the policies and laws that benefit that minority known as the elite or the rich, the speed at which those laws are passed is exponentially faster. While most of us sit on the deck chairs waiting for the Titanic to avoid the myriad of icebergs of which we seem to continually run afoul, the elite ride comfortably in speedboats. If, according to our Constitution, all men are created equal, why do the rich live quite different lives than the rest of us? Where is our speedboat? In 2018, Chris Osman wrote a book highlighting the problems humanity would face if more power, wealth, and control were funneled to a small group of individuals, groups, or organizations. In that book, Mr. Osman provided solutions from himself and others to the inevitable problems we would all face. In it, he also provided a means for the public to analyze, compare, and contrast the words and deeds of those we've chosen to follow against our real-world experiences. To this end, Mr. Osman provides the means for readers to disseminate information as provided by their news sources of choice, their elected officials, and any other authority they choose to follow. The book, titled Solutions, Enough Complaining. Let's Fix America offers a means to hold leaders up, not just to a higher standard than is currently accepted, but to one that will improve lives. Grandma just looks like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Click the link below and get your copy of Solutions today.